All right, it's time to see what's happening outside with our weather. And our weather word today, last week, or earlier this week, we had a difficult word for Matt.
We did.
It wasn't an easy one. And he said afterwards, you know what, I really enjoy the challenge. So I thought, okay, let's keep it going. Let's go with, today's the first day of fall, right?
No.
I was close. Was that yesterday or is that tomorrow?
Saturday, Jay.
I was right
you
there.
were a few days.
See, here's what really bothers me about that. What's the date today? It's
21st.
I was taught when I was in school that June 21st was the first day of summer. September 21st was the first day of fall. March 21st was the first day of spring.
You're not wrong.
September's always the weird one. It's never the 20th.
I can't keep up with this. Yeah. Anyhow, your weather word is burgeon. It's a verb, and it means to bloom or to flourish.
Oh, okay. Burgeon.
Because although we're going into fall, I wish we were going into spring.
No, me too.
But that's your word.
Okay. We'll get burgeon into the forecast.
Can't wait to see how you do it.
Oh, well, somehow it'll get in there. I have no idea either. All right, forecast-wise, temperatures today. My goodness, it feels like summer, right? And it still is summer, so there's that, Jay. But temperatures are going to start to cool down. The reason why, we've got east wind right now, kind of an odd direction, right? Well, as we look at the big picture across the U.S., that east wind's going to continue over the next couple days due to two circumstances that we have. But first things, your evening out, your patio forecast looks good. We're in the 70s. A couple clouds out there, especially as you get inland. Otherwise, we're dealing with lots of sunshine. So I mentioned that east wind. Well, as we zoom out the big picture, we're clear here. Here's that rain up towards Chicago we were mentioning yesterday. But we've got a high pressure out towards the east, and that flow around it continues to circulate in air from the east. All the thunderstorms, in fact, severe weather expected in the plains will stay there. This high pressure is kind of acting like a blocking pattern for everything that's out towards our west. But the combination of that high and the low, which is that tropical system we've been mentioning all week that's starting to develop now, that combo is bringing east or northeast wind to almost everyone in the eastern half of the country. Kind of an odd direction, but that's going to continue as long as this continues. This is now a potential tropical cyclone and number 16 on the year. So does this become Ophelia over the next 24 hours? It certainly could. Right now, it's not. It doesn't have tropical characteristics. It's basically a cold front and a low pressure. You could draw the low here. You see the frontal boundary with that. But as it continues out over Bathwater, I mean, it is warm. In terms of the Gulf streams here out the course of the Carolinas, we have some very warm water. There's not a lot of shear with this, so it is expected to develop pretty quickly here, potentially in a tropical storm this evening. So this comes on shore over the Outer Banks near the Wilmington area, just north and east of town, and eventually it kind of meanders its way up the East Coast. It doesn't impact us. We can get impacts from East Coast hits, but what we are going to see with this is perhaps some high clouds, and does the rain make it here? We'll see. This would impact our weekend. So here you go as we go through time. Expected to make landfall around Saturday morning. Notice the rain shield coming in, but don't forget, you've got the Appalachian mountain chain to get over. So this rain has to go up and over that. And when things sink on the backside, that often creates a lot of dry air, sinking air, right? So it's going to be a struggle bus to get some of this rain in here. But I do think we get high clouds off of this. They're going to have flooding rains in the Carolinas up to the eastern seaboard. For us, not anticipating a lot of rain. Your National Zymer hour-by-hour forecast. Notice we're in the 50s as we get into the morning. Burgeon, how do I use, is that a verb?
Yeah,
verb. It is a verb, okay.
It means to bloom or to flourish.
As you're getting up and burgeoning. I want to say burgeoning. Okay.
Go ahead.
Burgeoning. As you're burgeoning with your cup of coffee tomorrow morning. That's what I was trying to get at. My goodness, that was awful. It just didn't sound right to say to burgeon tomorrow morning with your coffee. Anyway, it looks good. Tomorrow afternoon looks great as well. Friday night football looks good. Weekend, not too bad. We'll have rain chances east. We're talking state line. Otherwise, we have high clouds from that system. So as you look up this weekend, you'll see high clouds overhead streaming off that tropical system. Kind of cool. We've got a drought to talk about, or at least a developing drought. We've been talking about that for the last week. I've got some interesting stats, and we'll show more pretty pictures to you, but I'm out of time. Union Hill Mortgage 7-day forecast in the 70s, a little cooler this weekend as we bring in that northeast wind. And then next week, still looking at a scattered rain chance, but boy, it doesn't look like much. We'll be back with your forecast or more news, including the birthday boy, I think, after this.